Okay, so I'll start. Have you ever tried to be good at everything? Have you? Anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, I see some hands there. Guess what? When you try to be good at everything, most likely you will get nothing. And here, today, I will share with you to focus on being great at one thing instead of wasting your time trying to be good at everything. So, I'll start with my personal story. Okay, this is me when I was in middle school. At the time, I was 13 years old. And this is my report. I highlighted some subjects there: biology, physics, information technology. At all the subjects, I got C. Most of it science subjects. You know what happened in one of my science classes? So, one day, my friend mocked me for not paying attention in class. At the time, I was too busy scrolling in my drawing book, like randomly describing my fictional characters into great details when my teacher was actually explaining about dynamic electricity. You know how my teacher reacted at the time? Like this. "Good job, Debbie. You're gonna be big someday." Amazing, isn't it? My teacher was on my side. My teacher let me do those kind of things because he knew my potential. That moment became the turning point in my education life. And since then, I started to focus on the things that I know that I can be great at. The result? 3 years after that turning moment, I managed to build K-Vibes, a social media company, one of the biggest, when I was 16 years old. And K-Vibes is the platform for the K-pop community in Indonesia. So when I was 16 years old, and I had at least 8 older people working for me. And in 2020, I was leading K-Vibes to become one of Asian entertainment media giants in Indonesia, with more than 1 million followers, with big communities around it. So, that year, in 2020, one of subsidiaries, Indonesian conglomerate, then bought my company. That's the story of a student who is not trying to be good at everything, but trying to focus on one thing. So, at this moment, you must wondering, will this gonna work for everyone? And I will answer that question with yes. Everybody in this room and in the world has ability, has capacity to be great at one thing. But, there is a but, we will never know if we keep trying to be good at everything. Let me give you one example. End of term reward. Who still remember that day when we got our school report back then? Who is excited about having that day? Who, in other words, who wants to completely forget that day? The top 10 students were the most excited, probably the most excited to have that day because they will get the praise from their parents, their friends. But if you're like me, who are not top students, most likely that's the scariest day, like the judgment day, because We were waiting for our parents or even our neighbors to judge us for getting C's. And why is this happening? Can you see like the writings behind me? Okay. So this is another example. The writings from students in primary school. Behind their writings, their skill writings, they had to deal with stress because they have to be good at everything. And you know what, that being good at everything has been a constant pressure since we were a kid. And the pressure comes in form of like standards, scores, rankings, you name it. And how do you think these kids deal with this when they're older? They still try to be good at everything, but this time they seek help from technology. This is one of them. Are you familiar with this application? Yes, right? Okay, so this app helps the students to get their homework done. Or in other words, we just want to tick the box. And how do you think our real life will happen in our real life if we only can do the tick the box? You will never be a leader. You will just be an operator taking instructions in your day-to-day life. Do you want that kind of life to happen? No, I don't want that time. I don't want that kind of life. I don't want that kind of life because I just don't want to be just an operator. So, what can we do? What do we need? What do we need to actually have the opportunity to escape this trap? Number one, you have to be confident. You have to be confident because you realize that you have a unique potential. We all have. And the second one, number two, of course, supportive environment. I was lucky as hell that my parents, my mom and dad, my mom is here. Hi, Mom. Thank you. I have such a supportive environment with my parents, never judged me for not being an A student. I got all the love, the support, the affirmation that I needed in the process. They made me aware of my potential, and they didn't stop me from exploring new things every single day. Thankfully, I also have a supportive environment even in my workplace. So, I think it's like a privilege for me, but you can create one too. I can describe this ecosystem in just one sentence. This ecosystem is a miniature of how education should be. That consists of supportive environment, letting you explore everything you want, and the most important thing is you can get to know yourself more deeply because here, self-reflection is a must. So, you might be wondering, maybe it's only work for Debbie, but I don't think so. This is another example. My friend, Afia, he was one of my classmates when we went into business school. So, at the time, in the mid of pandemic, before I got into the topic, he was not trying to be good at everything. because despite subjects as the MIT, his main focus was only 2 subjects. The first one is operation management, and the second one is social entrepreneurship. And later on, 2 years after, in the midst of pandemic, he managed to lead a big vaccination program for more than 4,000 people in Bandung with 30% cost as efficiency if we compare to what government has done to us. And he did that when he was only 21 years old. Like he gave the opportunity to 4,000 people in Bandung to be vaccinated. Even he now worked on with one of the owners of a big manufacturing company in Indonesia. He shines as himself without trying to be good at everything. So, now we're in the fun part. What can we do to become great at one thing? So, first thing first, that the pressure is still there. We cannot eliminate all the pressures in just one day, right? We have this curriculum, we have the pressure to get the best score in our school, or maybe the expectations from society. We cannot just eliminate it in just one day. So the thing that we can do, we can focus on 4 things to do. The first one is find your unique potential. We all here have one unique potential, and you have to explore what you think you can be great at. The second, find your ecosystem. If you can find it, if you cannot find it, then you should create it. And the third one is do it now. That's the thing you should do. Close the gap between wanting and actually doing. Create space for you to really explore what you think you need and you want. I remember when it was my conversation with my science teacher that I've told before. What I did at the time. So I remember I usually work late to keep up with the trends on Google, on Twitter, even Instagram, because I had realized that I had huge potential and interest in social media. I took a lot of time for that. And in the morning, I usually came to my school earlier than others because I wanted to schedule my social media posts that I made, and also did some research on the potential partner that I could work with. I did all those things when I was in middle school. So getting our hands dirty was an option, and if I can do that, then you can do too. This is a picture of me trying to understand some novels that can inspire me to make a social media post. And the next one is organize your life. Create space for you to explore and experiment and also experience things that you thought you cannot do, but you actually can do that right now. So now, to close my session, I want to share my dream with you all. I dream of we, the young Indonesians, have the opportunity to explore the thing that we can be great at, that we can become confident to show our talents in front of people. And I dream of our young ones, our loved ones, to keep supporting us in everything we do. And most important things, will never judge us for not being good at everything. And also, I dream of Indonesia will provide us equal opportunity to become great at one thing, and also keep supporting us with a good education environment that we deserve. So I want to, and I know that this is not only my dream. I want to ask all the young Indonesians here to let yourself dream the things that you deserve to achieve. So let's become great at one thing, pursue your passion, and achieve the thing that you can be great at. Thank you so much.